The topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Welcome, dear souls. Thank you for joining us. I'm Betty Ray, and the Archangel Raphael is the speaker that has channeled through me now for over 50 years. And we are so delighted today to be with you. Please tell your friends, subscribe, let us know that you support this channel. And we do appreciate it because Raphael's words are uplifting and just full of beauty and peace and harmony. And so today, I'm actually going to read to you from his new book called Ask Raphael, and it is available now on I almost said YouTube. On I'm having a blank here. Amazon. There we go. You can go to Amazon and go to Ask Raphael and Betty Ray, and you can get this new book that Raphael has channeled through me. It's so exciting. He's answered a zillion questions that people have asked us over the many, many years we've been doing this. And today we're going to talk about the soul's purpose. But first, we're going to talk about what is the soul. I'm going to read to you from the book. I have it up on another computer. I actually haven't even bought it myself because I've been really busy. But it has a beautiful cover, and you will just love it. And so I do hope you get it isn't a hard copy, it's the paperback. And tell people about it. Please let people know that it's available because it will answer so many questions and bring peace to many, many hearts. So much anxiety and fear is in the world right now, the pandemic being the number one major thing. But the rest of it is the unrest in politics and all the other stuff that's going on. This book will help you cope. It will show you ways to bring peace into your own beingness. It will make you aware of your purpose. And that's what we're going to talk about today. What is your purpose for being here? And so this is in chapter 2, and it's called Question, What is a Soul? I'm going to be reading from it now. The answer, Raphael says, your soul is a large body of divine energy. It is like a brilliant sunbeam filled with 4th of July sparklers all dancing in its own DNA pattern and emanating celestial music. You are truly magnificent, he says. And that is so. When I am shown your soul, it does look like just that. It's in a body of light, and the light is just sparkling. And so I wish everybody could see what I see, because if you could, then you would never besmirk any other person. You would know they are a divine being of light. I don't care what age their soul is, because beginner souls make many mistakes. They're simply acting out of fear, whereas advanced souls act out of love and peace and harmony. And that's how you can tell the difference between a beginner soul. They're always looking out for their own needs, and they don't care whose face they step on to climb the corporate ladder. So your soul is a large body of divine energy, and you are truly magnificent, he says. The color of your soul also reveals your soul's purpose and point of view while in sentient life. And he talks, that's later on in the book. But for right now, it is your expression of the physical body that it wears like a spacesuit on a physical planet. And then the question, what is my purpose for incarnating? This is what Raphael says. So many people ask this question. We do not wish to seem to flip when we respond. Your purpose is to be happy. Just like that. Your purpose is to be happy. If you are happy, you are following the divine guidance within you. If you are not happy, then you're not listening, or you're not brave enough, perhaps at this moment in time, which is okay, maybe to change the situation that makes you unhappy. And I'm being reminded of a situation in my own life, which is I live in Florida, and it happens that I'm in a neighborhood that is a pass through for all of these huge trucks that are going from one development to another. And they go charging through here, making thundering noises. And so I called the Department of Transportation, and actually they got back to me. And I had asked for speed bumps. That was the only thing that came to mind. Let's get some speed bumps. That'll slow them down. And the man that called me back, bless his heart, he said, no, speed bumps won't work, but we can put up a sign that will prohibit those kinds of trucks to come through your down your street. And I went, yay! So this is what he's going to try to do, and he will get back to me. So you see, brainstorming in when you have a problem, rather than cursing and swearing and complaining, do something about it. That's your purpose in that moment. Do you see? In that moment, that's your purpose, to solve a problem for yourself and for your neighbors. And so if they can do that so that those big trucks won't be rumbling through because they won't be allowed to anymore, that's certainly going to cut down on the noise and the clutter of sound that seems to be bombarding our street right now. So got my fingers crossed that this is actually going to happen. But it took brainstorming. And for a while, it was my purpose to see how I could solve this problem. And that's what everyday life is about. Your purpose is to solve problems. And so Raphael says, here's his answer to the question, what is your purpose? To be happy. Does that sound flippant? Maybe. But if you are happy, then all your needs are met. And if you're not happy, then you have to figure out what is making you unhappy and do something about it. This is where you have a purpose, which is to be happy and to figure out what makes you unhappy. Now, sometimes it's a relationship that just makes you miserable and you can't do anything about it. Well, yes, you can. You can choose not to be unhappy. That sounds overly simple, but it means that you do what you need to do to be happy. And in some cases, if it's a relationship, it might mean the end of the relationship. And in other cases, if it means that you have a duty to that person, it might be a purpose that you came forward with from another lifetime to serve that person for a period of time. Maybe you owe them a debt from the previous lifetime. There's a lot of emotions we bring back from one life to another. And it's really important that you understand that you can. I got to check something out here. Hold on. See if I got comments. Nope. I'm waiting for your comments. Okay. So that you can begin to understand that you are the creator of your own world. You are the creator of your own world. Your purpose is to be happy. And that means you have to figure out what makes you unhappy and then figure out what you need to do to change that. Now, I know I talked to a client who said that she had to deal with her mother. She was taking care of her, and her mother complained constantly every day. Now, there wasn't anything she could do about it. It was her duty, if you will, to take care of her aging mother, and she just had to put up with it. But she chose to smile instead of frown. She chose to be happy instead of being angry and upset. That's your free will in action, dear ones. Your free will to choose how you're going to react to the people and experiences in your life. And when you choose to be happy, as Raphael says, to make that your purpose, you will find a way to do that. You will smile and turn and walk away if you can't get a smile back. And if you can't turn and walk away, you will smile all the while that you are in that person's presence. And you will be sending them divine love and energy and angels. When you can no longer do it yourself, you will send the angels to take over, to give them the love and the support that they need, that they're drawing energy from you. And then you pull it back down from the angels into your own beingness, so that your purpose for being in that person's place or space, I should say, right now, will be to bring peace and harmony to the moment. Now, if you have other problems that you cannot deal with, like money and all of that's going on with a pandemic, and you can't change that, then you listen to your own divine guidance as to what can make you happy. Get a good book, a book that is uplifting. And maybe next week I'll bring a list of books that might be good to put on your bookshelf if you don't have them already. But I'm not prepared for that today. Your purpose might be to go to a metaphysical bookstore, not necessarily as a religious bookstore, because oftentimes the people who write books in religious bookstores are telling you all the things you shouldn't do. They can be quite negative and dictatorial. And that's not your purpose. Your purpose is to be free, to explore ideas, and to never have dogma be put like a chain around your neck that weighs you down. Now, if you have a strong belief in the religion that you're following, then indeed rejoice and be glad in that, for that's your home in that particular belief. But if you don't, explore other beliefs. At one time, I went to every different religious organization that I could go to. And I sat in and listened. I talked to the people afterwards, and I was never comfortable at all until finally, in my home in Michigan, I had built a labyrinth and I had built a beautiful walk through the woods around a pond. And I found that my church was in nature, that I could communicate with God in nature much more easily than from a preacher's mouth on a pulpit. And so, dear ones, I say to you, do not hesitate to look into what makes you happy. Because when you follow that idea, you will find that you are following God's plan and purpose for your life. Now, it may take a while. It may not be what your course of action is, but it was for me. I changed religions a long time ago and then eventually did not belong to any organized church. As I said, I now have my own spiritual center, and I teach people how to meditate. And again, I've done this on this channel before in teaching you how to relax your body, how to do deep abdominal breathing, and then how to let your imagination just open up and open doors that you never knew existed, that will bring you answers to your questions and will thrill you and make you happy. And so there's also our videos out there which is 90 days to happiness. 90 days to happiness. And you can get that and watch one every day for the next 3 months. And you will find that if you make habits that change your mind from negative thinking to positive thinking, that you'll really be happy much more often than you are aggravated or angry or upset. You will find that deep breathing is a secret method of allowing you to overcome any challenge that you might have. This is your purpose, dear souls, to be in the planet in a physical body and to live with people that could aggravate you, but also could thrill you with their beauty. And it is your purpose to be happy. So listen to that first and foremost. If you're unhappy with the traffic down your road, call the road commission and see what can be done. And if this young man follows through, that puts a sign up that says no trucks except delivery, then that will cut down on a tremendous amount of noise on our little street that runs from one big development to one actually big street to another one. So you brainstorm. When you have a problem and you don't know what to do, You brainstorm, you get other people to talk about it. And then, as I did, I thought, okay, we need to get speed bumps. That will slow them down. Well, the road commissioner person said, no, that won't slow them down. They'll just go charging right over them. But he said, we can put up a sign that says no truck traffic through. And so that would solve the problem, wouldn't it? So listen to your purpose in the moment, and then you will know that to be happy, you listen to what your needs are. And God puts those needs there to move you forward. Now, Raphael also says that God created your soul to be an explorer of physical worlds. The more knowledge you gain from each experience, the better you are at making decisions bearing fruit rather than disappointment. Begin with the knowledge that you, dear reader, are most likely an experienced soul, or you wouldn't be here. Otherwise, you would have not chosen to read this book. And we say again to you, Amazon, go to Amazon.com, ask Raphael/Betty Ray, and order our book today. And you will be so glad that you did. And then write us a review, because the more good reviews we have, the more people it will reach. And eventually, if we have enough people that buy Raphael's book, it could be put on the #1 bestseller list, which will reach people all across the world. And so we ask you to help us with this, to give the good review if you believe it deserves it. And of course, we think we do. And again, know that this channeling has been my life's work. It has been my purpose to bring an archangel's wisdom to you, and to do it through a method that I had never heard about as a young girl in my religion, never even heard of trans channeling, didn't know what it was. And when it actually happened, I thought it was just my imagination at first. But then I realized that my imagination didn't contain the kind of wisdom that was coming through me. I knew it wasn't me. And then eventually I was given Raphael's name. At first, it was just an angel. I think they knew that I would be saying, who, me? Channel for an archangel? Are you kidding? Not me. That's what's called self-deprecation, when you don't think you're good enough for something good to happen to you. And that's been one of my pitfalls in this lifetime. I just think of myself as God's humble servant, and I don't see myself as being anything special. And so we would love to hear from you. If you are watching this today, please leave a message and tell us about it. And if you are hearing it at another time, email us your comments at angelbettyray@gmail.com. angelbettyray@gmail.com. That's also where you can ask for a private consultation with the archangel. We are here to serve. This is our purpose in life at this point in time. What is your purpose? Do you know? Would you like to know? All you have to do is pick up the phone or go to your computer first and email us, and we'll set up a time, give you our phone number, and you can talk with Raphael. We only come to serve, and we hope that you are well and happy, and that you are following the divine purpose for your life. Let's read a little bit more from the book. Raphael goes on to answer the question, why do people do evil things? Raphael says, because they are beginner souls. And then he says, souls are always coming and going within your planet. Some come into the physical without having had any previous experience in exploring your physical world. Their spirits have a wide-eyed curiosity and total ignorance of your rules, laws, and niceties as defined by more advanced souls who have set up those laws and regulations. Many have had to discover those laws by breaking them. New souls may seem to be of lesser mental abilities, for their minds are a clean slate, and yet they could be a genius awakening to new ideas from God, because there is no obstruction of preconceived ideas to block the communication with their Creator. Their abilities for problem solving may astound others. It is because they do not have past experiences of failure that close them off from our inspirations. You are getting divine inspiration to follow your purpose for the life, which is to ask questions, to seek answers, and to be happy. We cannot stress that enough because when your emotions are in a position of being happy, you can communicate with angels. You cannot communicate with angels if you are depressed. Please remember this. Your energy barometer is so low, you cannot connect with the higher energy of the angels until you raise your emotions out of fear and anxiety and feel the total love and acceptance from God that will make you blissfully happy. This is your purpose today, to find out what it is that makes you happy. Don't tell me what makes you unhappy. Don't focus on what makes you unhappy because the law of the universe is what you focus on is what you will create. So if you are unhappy and you're telling everybody about how unhappy you are cementing that unhappiness into your future. You are creating your life with every breath you take. And if you are happy, you will create a happy life. If you are angry and frustrated and complaining and angry with people, boy, that's your future. That's what you're creating. Is that really what you want? Instead, remember that your emotions are what connects you to your angels. And if your emotions are down in the deep dumps, then you can't hear your angels. And until you learn to smile through the pain, and indeed, I know about that, for I've had a herniated disc for over a year now, and I still have back pain. But nobody would know it. I don't tell people, and sometimes I have to use a cane, but most of the time I refuse to do so. And I walk as though I were 60 instead of 86. And so, dear friends, this is your moment to decide what your purpose in life is. And if it is to be happy, then make a list of the things that would make you happy. And it isn't to win the lottery, so just forget that. Cancel that off the list. That's not the way it works. God doesn't dip into the lottery and shower you with gold coins. It doesn't work that way. Sometimes you might have to get a job. And as I told a young man who was putting a car on his refrigerator that he wanted to have, but he didn't even have a job, I said, not only get one job, but if necessary, get two jobs. And I told him about my husband as a young man who worked three jobs, one in downtown Hudson. That's how long ago it was. And the midnight shift, moving packages. And he had two other day jobs. He was a gardener for one, and I don't remember what he did for some of the other things. But he worked and worked and worked to help support his family. And if that's the car you want, then work for it, dear friend. It isn't going to be given to you. That's something you've got to knock out of your head because you are the creator of your world. You can't go borrowing somebody else's creativity and making that your way of getting something. It doesn't work that way. Your purpose is to be a co-creator with God. You are here to learn how to manifest physical matter from your energy of love and joy. It's love and joy that is the key. If you are angry all the time, your life must be miserable. Oh, dear soul, heavy on the heart. So lift off that heavy burden. Do not allow yourself to be angry any longer. Whoever, if it is another person that makes you angry, instead, smile, bless them, wish them well. It doesn't have to be words coming out of your mouth. You can think it. And in so doing, you bring a blessing upon yourself. Your purpose is to be happy, dear friends. And that means that you have to choose each moment of your life to be happy, to find out what it is that gives you joy. Now I'm reminded of my granddaughter. who has discovered a purpose that she has of writing songs. She has written some beautiful songs, and it fills me with joy to hear her. I was a music teacher. I played the piano, I taught voice, and here is my granddaughter having had piano lessons and voice lessons, and she's now putting that all to good use, and she is writing songs to lift up the hearts of others. I'm proud of her, but I have no right to be proud, for it is nothing that I have done. My connection with her has been to love her unconditionally, but nothing else have I contributed other maybe some genes of music. And so this is something that you can look upon your grandchildren and rejoice in the goodness that they bring to the world. I look upon my grown children and I bless them and think about how many wonderful things they have brought into the planet because of their love and integrity, because of their honesty and truth to all the peoples in their life. This is your goal, to be truthful to yourself and then to be truthful to others. For in so doing, you raise their consciousness as well as your own. And so, okay, we're putting down on the screen there about our radio show here, but we'd also like you, if we can do this, Rebel, to put in Ask Raphael /Betty Ray at Amazon.com. Time to tune in. Okay, so can we put that down? All right. And we would like to see, okay, comments and descriptions. Okay. All right, let's see if we can do that. So we want to put on the streaming Raphael's book on Amazon. Ask Raphael /Ray. Okay, can we put that out there? All right. So Raphael's book on Amazon, Ask Raphael /Betty Ray. There he goes. So do get the book because as you can see, Raphael talks about all kinds of stuff. And the purpose is what we're talking about today. So let's go back and read what he says. When it was asked, what is my purpose for incarnating? Raphael says, your purpose is to be happy. Because if you are happy, you are connected to God and you are taking the inspiration from God and you are bringing it into your life to become a reality. And there's so many things that you will create in this lifetime that will bring beauty and joy to others as well as yourself. And I encourage you to go also to my webpage, which is, I'm going to put this up on the thing too, Betty Ray. Okay, Angel Betty Ray and Raphael.com. So I'm putting that up there too. Check out my webpage and you will begin to see I have other books on there. Plus some of my artwork that is what's wonderful about when you tune into your angelic beings, inspire you with some amazing things you never thought you would ever do. And for those of you that are not familiar with my rugs, my husband had fun telling his friends that he had married a hooker. But I hooked rugs using old clothing, old wool clothing, cutting them into strips and then cutting them smaller strips that were 3/32 of an inch. They were, let me see, I'll put it over here, 3/32 of an inch. That is very small, and it made tapestry-like rugs. This was a vision that was given to me. This is why people call me a visionary. I get pictures in my head, and sometimes I have to draw them out because I'm afraid I'll forget them. And so some of the things that I have done have come in a vision. Sometimes it wakes me up in the middle of the night. But that's because I've developed my clairvoyance. This is a French word meaning clear seeing. And this is what a lot of psychics call themselves because they get pictures. Now, there are those who are clairaudient, and I am that as well because I hear the words of Raphael and I have written them down in this book in a conversation. Ask Raphael And all the questions that you have asked on this radio show and on all the other readings that we have done over the years, these are the answers to those questions. And so this, again, check it out. I need to probably go back and get it updated. I think I've neglected. I haven't done anything for a while, but do check it out. And you will see that we have been a creator for God. As you are, that's what you've been created to do, is to bring the joy and love and peace and harmony that is God into the world through your hand, through your imagination. That's the key. You have to imagine it. You have to be unafraid that if you get an idea, you pursue it. Just like the speed bumps. I tried to solve a problem with the trucks that were traveling through my little neighborhood just to make a shortcut to another big street. And the rattling, the noise of it. So that can maybe be solved now because I brainstormed. I asked that in that moment, that was my purpose, to solve that problem. What is your purpose today? What problems do you have that you need to solve? Do you know how to brainstorm? Do you know what that means? That means going into a deep meditation and asking your angels and guides, how can you solve this problem? And ideas will begin to pop just like that all over the place. And as I followed through and did get a report back today, that if they can put up a sign that says no through trucks, then that'll solve my problem. And I don't have to have speed bumps, which apparently cause um, too many lawsuits because it ruined cars that ran into a speed bump and too high a speed, and it probably bent their axles or something. I don't know. Anyway, we hope that you will. Okay, I'm looking at the comments show up on StreamYard. This is an example. Okay. Okay, well, we're still looking for comments from people that are watching. And we do hope that if those of you that are watching, and maybe later date you are watching this, do sign up, do subscribe to our channel, and you will be notified when we are going to be live so that you can ask questions online. You just type them in. You don't have to give a name. You don't have to let anybody know who you are. But if you do need a private chat with us, so you don't want to do it online like this, please don't hesitate to email us at angelbettyray@gmail.com. And so here we go. We are going to go back to what is your purpose and read some more from that. He says, so many people ask this question of what is my purpose? And he says, we do not wish to seem flip when we respond as we do about just being happy. And yet only when you lift your emotional energy beyond the negative pull can you begin to be happy. Self-doubt, fear, and anxiety are the only impediments to your joy. Release them from your energy and you advance quickly along your path to enlightenment. Now, is that your purpose? Well, whether you know it or not, actually, it's everybody's purpose. You come to this planet to explore the planet's polarities, to know light from dark, to be able to distinguish those feelings that you have that either make you happy or drag you down into depression. You're in a polarity world, people, and you're going to be experiencing all of the highs and lows, the ups and downs, the warm, the cold. It's just part of being a sentient being on planet Earth. And so, and he says, self-doubt, fear, anxiety are the only impediments to your joy. Release them from your energy and you advance quickly along your path to enlightenment. And he says again, God created your soul to be an explorer of physical worlds. The more knowledge you gain from each experience, the better you are at making decisions bearing fruit rather than disappointment. Begin with the knowledge that you, dear reader, are most likely an experienced soul. Otherwise, you would not have chosen to read Raphael's book. Are you an experienced soul? If so, go to Amazon and purchase the book Ask Raphael. And if you like it, give it a rating, because that way it'll reach more people. And that's all our purpose, to bring joy and happiness to as many people as possible while we are still here. And so he goes on and he says, as we described below, the stages of a soul's development in terms that relate also to the physical body's development, perhaps you can appreciate your own divine knowledge and in turn have compassion for souls who are just beginning the process of wearing a physical body. Yes, there are baby souls, and you will recognize them by their narcissism, by their need to command respect even when they haven't earned it, by their display of anger when you don't do as they're bidding. Those are beginning souls. Have pity on them. They have a rough road to travel. But if you know and meet an old soul, they will always have a smile on their face. They will show compassion to you and to all they meet. They will not judge. They will have wisdom, and they will not share it unless asked for it. They don't get up on a soapbox and preach. They don't need to. Their life is an example, and their love is shown by a shining light in their face. Their eyes show it, even if their face is covered in a mask. So if you choose to become an old, mature soul, that means that you have to let go of your fears and anxieties. Your purpose today is to try and figure out what anxieties you have. What do you fear? And if it is something you can change, if it is something you can let go of, then make that a resolve. Your purpose is to let go of fears and anxieties. Sometimes it may mean letting go of people in your life. I've had a dear old friend that decided that our relationship was finished. And I could not understand why, but sometimes people outgrow you or you outgrow them and you no longer communicate. And so if it is a parting of ways like that, know that it is part of your purpose and your divine plan for the life. And so do not bemoan the loss of a friend. Instead, bless them, send them divine love and energy and angels, and send them on their way. And so, what is your purpose? How do you figure that out? But it isn't like there's great big giant purpose that you're here to do. No, it's a daily purpose. It's a daily resolve that you're going to eat something every day. And then hopefully you will choose food that is healthy for your body. That's certainly it. That you are going to do something constructive. And that if you are inspired to do something creative, you will seek out how to do that. A purpose is in the moment. It's not the big thing that is why you came to the planet, why you chose those parents. Oh, I hear people saying, what? I chose my parents? I would never have chosen those two people to be my parent. True, you probably never would have, but your soul did because it knew it had unresolved emotions that needed to be brought forth into a physical reality and resolved. And how do you do that? You do that by not letting your parents make you unhappy, instead, detaching from their negativity, and instead of being angry at them, have compassion for them because they are likely younger souls. It is your opportunity to show love and compassion and non judgment. There's the purpose behind having those parents, so that you can realize that they gave you the gift of life and then they were done. And you couldn't be done with them because you were just a tiny babe that required to have somebody take care of you. And so, whatever that kind of a relationship was, if it is no longer a relationship you wish to keep, then don't move away from it unless there is a commitment that God has set up that you still have to be working with parents that are not happy and that keep you from being happy. But that's the catch. Nothing can keep you from being happy. Your purpose is to be happy. And that means that you have to pay attention to what is right and good for you. Now, I know we're probably getting down to the wire, and I know that my dear engineer for this radio show, Rebel, will let me know as we're getting close to the end. But let's read just a little bit more about. So, one of the things that we've noticed in the book that Raphael talks about is the soul ages. Now, they don't have an age, they have experiences. The more experience a soul has had wearing a physical body on planet Earth, the better they are to cope with it. So when you have people that can't cope and they don't know what to do, it's because they haven't had the experience to draw upon to know what to do. And so, dear friends, it is for you to have compassion with them. If they are messing up, that's their choice. And the experience of messing up is added to their repertoire of choices that add wisdom and give purpose to their next choice. We're all learning. There is no one on the planet, I don't care how wise they may be, that is not learning from this planetary experience. And so we say to you, go to the wise ones. Hold on. Go to the people you admire, the leaders that you admire, and decide what is it that you admire about them. Now, if you are a young soul, you might admire their power and their money, but that's not what's going to get you an advanced wisdom. Because those people who are caught up in power and money are usually what I call middle-aged souls. They're into the earth's gifts. They want power and control, and that means money. Excuse me. Unfortunately, there are many in politics who are just young souls. They're experimenting with how to make a fortune so that they can live and rule their life. And unfortunately, they will do it maybe not quite so up and up. We are finding out that we've had a lot of people in government, and we're not talking about those who are gone and past. We're talking about those that we are discovering have been using their political power to bring themselves money. And that's coming to light because Raphael did say that all things would be revealed and that it would be the raising of consciousness. This is the time of times when people are lifting their souls out of the negativity and into the light. The light is winning the battle. And some of you need to hear that because you feel as though you are drained of all energy when you look at the news. But that's not what you focus on. And if you do choose to focus on something that is negative, your purpose in that moment is to flood that whatever, that news, whatever, with divine light so that somebody will be involved in changing it. May not be you. Your job may be just to send the light to anyone who can do something to change it. And again, to change the problem with the speeders going through my little neighborhood street, I had to ask for divine guidance. And I did get it. And I'm hoping that this man will be able to follow through and have a no truck allowed except for deliveries. So you see, there are answers to problems. Sometimes you have to do the research. Sometimes you have to figure out what to do next. And sometimes when you can't figure out a thing, you just sort of step back, take a deep breath, and you say, okay, God, show me what to do next. And then your purpose will flash forward with an idea that you need to follow. And that will be your purpose in the moment. Now, I'm also in the process of creating 3 more archangels out of mosaics. I have 2 on the front of my house. One is the Archangel Raphael in green mosaics, and the other is the Archangel Gabriel in blue. And they are beautiful. They really are. Now I'm doing 3 more. I'm doing Michael, Uriel, and Emmanuel. So I'll have red, yellow, and purple. And this is going to be a little different than the ounces. I'm not going to completely cover them with mosaic tiles or with, as I use stained glass a lot of the time. This time, I'm going to paint them with outdoor paint after I put quills on the form. It's a piece of plywood that I use my little jigsaw to cut out a form. And I'm going to paint Michael red, and it's an outdoor paint. I'll paint it front and back after I painted it with quills. You can do this too. You can get plywood, the thin plywood, and you can draw a form on it, and then you cut it out with a jigsaw, and then you sand it down the edges, and then you paint it with quills if you want to put it outside. If you put it inside, you don't need to. But then you paint it, or you use quills to do it, as I say, to help the wood not to absorb so much. And then if you want to make a mosaic for indoors, this is all you do. You either get stained glass, or as I did in the beginning, broken dishes. I use broken dishes to create a design. And I have a 5-foot by 3-foot angel on the front of my house that is the angel of energy, because I put spirals all out of broken dishes. And I did the angel wings out of broken dishes that had a blue edging on it. And I put it such that it outlined the angel's wings. So use your creative imagination. Don't say you can't. Don't you dare say you can't. Use your creative imagination and start with just a little piece like I started with. And all I did was put jewelry on it. I painted it gold. It was just a small form that art friend of mine had started us into mosaics. I used pieces of thin mirrors, and I put that on it. I put a piece of jewelry on it, and it's beautiful. Allow God's creativity to soar through you with ideas that you can play with, that can lift you up and make you beam with a smile. Don't say you can't. Don't ever use that word with any of the angels, because they will sort of step back and say, okay, I'm out of here. And they're gone. So instead of saying you can't, say, okay, inspire me. And then you can. And that is to do with solving problems. Your purpose, again, is to be happy. And we are running out of time. We only have 3 minutes left. So again, today's talk has been on your purpose, your divine purpose. And it is simply to be happy. Do what makes you happy, but don't do anything that will make somebody else unhappy, or you will incur debts. Instead, be creative. Bring beauty into your home, and you will find that you will be happy. And your purpose in life will be to bring joy to yourself and to others. Be creative. Listen to your divine guidance. Okay, dear ones, this has been my joy to be here. Please let us know that you are listening. Send us an email, because we do need feedback. And now we are out of time. So we say to each of you, be creative, be happy, because that's your purpose. You are a co-creator with God. You are designed by God to bring those ideas from that master creator into your own life. Each of you individually are a creator. Be that and rejoice and be glad. Till next time, we love you. Please spread the word, subscribe, tell others about us, and do purchase Raphael's book, Ask Raphael. God bless each of you. Bye for now. Okay, we're clear.